Howdy, hello everyone, I'm the Coastercrutchfeild and you're the viewer, and today, well, you have probably come here for one of three reasons. You're having a trip to Magic Mountain soon, and you want to know how to best deal with the park and get all the coasters in one day. You are just watching this video because you want to know how to have a good visit at Magic Mountain, or you're just watching this video for fun because you never know when you might need this information. For either one of those three, this video will work for you, most likely. I don't know. My tactics have worked on all my visits, so yeah, this should be pretty reliable. However, before we get started, I know this is pretty cliche for me and I've never actually really done this, but I just want to say please subscribe to my channel, because if you have been taking notice of my channel recently, you will know that I've been pumping out, that I am going to now start pumping out videos for you all daily. So if you could subscribe, it'll really show a return on my work here, because seriously, I'm doing like 2 videos a day at this point. It is seriously mad. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Now, the first thing you need to know is when to visit. First of all, there's the obvious things of do not go on Saturday and do not go on major dates like 4th of July weekend, the last few weeks of December, and, well, just generally any time where there's a big break. Yes, you can go in summer because that's a very large gap where very obviously people won't be hitting the park every single day. If you have to go in the summer, I would suggest the beginning of June and the last few weeks of August, specifically the last few weeks of August, because I've noticed that you could have like 10-minute lines for many rides in the last weeks of August. Like, there were many times when I got to walk onto a ride in the last weeks of August, so if you could go in the last weeks of August, I would highly suggest that. It is a very good time to go. Other than that, I would suggest going on weekdays, because very obviously weekdays are going to be seriously dead. Like, on a weekday, I was able to walk on to Twisted Colossus and West Coast Racers and X2 even. So, yeah, if you're able to go on any day, go on a weekday. Seriously, I would highly suggest that. They are so good days to go on. But if you have to go on a weekend, go on a Sunday. Avoid Saturdays at all costs. I know Saturdays are the days that you want to go to a theme park. You probably have nothing going on. You just got done with the week. You need a break. But seriously, spend that time at home and not at a theme park, because everyone is thinking the exact same thing you're thinking, and they want to go to Magic Mountain on a Saturday, meaning that you will barely ever experience 10-minute lines on a Saturday. You will always experience lines of 20 minutes or over. So yeah, avoid Saturdays and avoid July. If you have to go in July, just, well, look forward into this video so that you can figure out what will happen if you do go on a pack day. So now that we've discussed times to go, let's discuss what happens when you're in the park. Well, before you get into the park, when you need to arrive. First of all, always arrive at opening. If you don't arrive at opening, you'll miss what I call prime time of Magic Mountain, which is about the first 2 hours of park operation when everyone hasn't showed up yet, because you'd be surprised how many people don't actually come to opening of Magic Mountain. Everyone usually comes a few hours afterward. The reason why for this, from what I can tell, is probably because Magic Mountain opens at 10:30. 10:30 is right after rush hour and other times like that when people are out and about. And usually the times people want to go to a theme park are before work hours, so before times like 10 and 9. And because Magic Mountain opens at 10:30, not many people are able to go there before work or something like that. I don't know why you would, but there are a surprising amount of people like that. Meaning that the time when theme parks don't really get a lot of people going through the gates in the morning is from, wouldn't you guess, 10:30 to around 12. Meaning that, yeah, not many people are going to show up to Magic Mountain in the morning. So always come in the morning, or if you can't come at opening, come like 30 minutes after opening. Because this is what leads me into the reason why you want to come at opening. The reason why you want to come in the morning is because the park is usually dead in the morning. Now, the front of the park is more dead than the back of the park. I'll get to the back of the park in a few seconds. But the front of the park is where all the popular rides are, because, well, they're at the front of the park. So X2, Full Throttle, Goliath, those rides are the rides people usually head to first. But once you hit the area of around Twisted Colossus and Tatsu, well, Twisted Colossus doesn't really get a line in the morning. Tatsu does because of its slow operations. So, yeah, head past Tatsu and go to Twisted Colossus in the morning, because especially the area around Riddler's Revenge, Batman the Ride, Wonder Woman Flight of Courage, and Apocalypse, that area is seriously full of walk-ons in the morning. I've done that 3 times, and every single time I've done that, I've been able to get right onto West Coast Racers, Batman the Ride, and once Wonder Woman opens, most likely I will be able to get right onto Wonder Woman, and then Apocalypse. So yeah, as you can tell, the back of the park is where you should certainly be heading first, because there is nobody there, because most people get attracted to rides like Full Throttle and X2 in the front. This is because of things like X2's flipping and Full Throttle's giant loop, and then there's also Goliath, because Goliath is just big, and being big is being a GP magnet. Meanwhile, rides like West Coast Racers, while that is still popular, it doesn't get popular till around midday, meaning that nobody really goes back there, and then Riddler's Revenge, well, we don't talk about Riddler's Revenge, and the Batman the Ride, that's small. Wonder Woman, I don't know what to say about that yet, because it very obviously hasn't opened, and then Apocalypse, everyone forgets about Apocalypse, even though it's pretty good. So, yeah, there's another reason why the front of the park's rides are always popular, because they usually have the most upfront things, as well as Tatsu, because it's a flying coaster, so blah blah blah, obviously people want to see a flying coaster. So, yeah, that's why you shouldn't head to the front of the park first. Those are the rides where most people will end up heading first, meaning that if you head to a ride like Full Throttle at the beginning of the day, well, yes, you will be getting a 5-minute line. By the time you get off Full Throttle, everyone will have already done their rides on rides like Full Throttle, Tatsu, Goliath, and X2, meaning that they will all have been hungry for more and have gone searching in the back of the park, which just so happens to have been the area where you should have gone in the morning. So, I know, I actually lost to this temptation once. The front of the park is very tempting with rides like Full Throttle and Tatsu being 5-minute waits, but you have to resist the temptation and go to the back of the park. This is how you'll be able to get the most coasters in the morning. But then there's what to do after you get the back of the park, because by the time you finish getting on all the rides at the back of the park and also kill your legs on Riddler's Revenge, then everyone will have gone to where you are. And by now, everyone is sort of dispersed around the park, so wait times will be around equal, except for rides like Riddler's Revenge, Apocalypse, Batman the Ride for some weird reason, and Twisted Colossus, which all either have really high capacity, nobody remembers they exist, or for reasons that I don't actually know for some reason, because, I don't know, Batman the Ride, just people don't want to go to Batman the Ride, I guess. Maybe it's because it's so secluded in the back, but whatever. Either way, at this point, you're gonna need to figure out some extra options. There's Plan A, which is simply just wait in the line. Or Plan B, which is search out those previously mentioned rides. So rides that usually never get waits are Riddler's Revenge, Apocalypse, Viper, and Batman the Ride for some weird reason. Those rides, for some reason, rarely ever get waits throughout the day. Now, Batman the Ride and Apocalypse on some days will, in the middle of the day, start to get waits, but Riddler's Revenge and Viper, they never get waits. Because, well, I mean, like, Riddler's Revenge is known for giving people leg pain, and it did for me, which is why I don't ride it anymore. And Viper is known for being a giant janky piece of crap, which you can see more about that in my last video about Arrow Megalupus and their fall. Plug. Seriously, you should go watch it. It's a really good video. But, yeah, if you want to get coaster credits and you're addicted to those things, you can pretty much choose to go on those rides whenever you want. You can spend your time in the back of the park in the morning. Instead of riding Riddler's Revenge and giving yourself leg pain, you could spend that getting another ride on Apocalypse, or Batman the Ride, or West Coast Racers, because those rides are all rides that don't give you leg pain for ages. But now you're probably thinking, But Ray, how do I get all the other credits that I missed in the morning that are around the front of the park, and also the kiddie coasters, because I'm not going to go over there in the front of the park at the beginning, because seriously, I have better things to do. Well, first things first, you should get a Flash Pass. Now, if you don't have enough money for Flash Passes, then I'm sorry, you're just going to have to wait in the long line, or short line if you went on a good day. Because, well, yeah, Flash Passes, they are really expensive. Like, if you want to get a Flash Pass that'll give you access to all the rides, you have to get the one that's at least $98. $98! And that's for one person. One person. Imagine 4 people getting that. That's 98 times 4 in dollars. So yeah, it's very understandable if you can't get a Flash Pass, and if you can, I'm sorry, because there's really no other way I can help you with this in terms of getting on rides. You just really have to pick a good day if you don't want to buy a Flash Pass. Now, assuming you do have enough money to get a Flash Pass, which thank God you do, because assuming you went on a packed day or a moderately packed day and you need a Flash Pass, then, well, you seriously can't help yourself with this one. Now you should focus on getting on the rides you couldn't before. For example, rides like Tatsu, X2, Full Throttle, Goliath, Ninja, and just some general flat rides like Crazanity, because Crazanity is really fun, but it gets really long lines on even moderately packed days. The same thing goes for X2, because that has long lines, because that is slow operations. The same for Tatsu for the same reason X2. Now, after that, it's probably around 5. Most days, the park closes at 6, but if you're lucky and you go on a day when it's operating for longer than 6, you'll be able to stay until 8, 9, or during events like Fright Fest, 1 a.m. Now, if you're able to stay till 1 a.m., you really have all the time you need to get coaster credits. But assuming you're visiting on a day when it's only open till 6, then once you get to around 5, 4:30, that's what I like to call the final hour dash. This is when you really need to focus on getting the coasters that you didn't get before. Even with the Flash Pass, you need to get the rides like the kiddie coasters, rides that you really couldn't care less for, like maybe Viper or Riddler's Revenge, and other rides like that. Because assuming you're not going to be able to come back here for a while, you need to make sure you get everything in. So this is when you should really be using that Flash Pass to its fullest. That's when you should really be optimizing your wait times, really thinking about, should I really be waiting this long for this ride when I could be waiting this long for this ride and then just wait this long for this ride later on? You should really just optimize it. For example, if there is a 10-minute line for Riddler's Revenge, but a 30-minute line for some sort of kiddie coaster or a ride like Ninja, then you probably want to wait in the line for Ninja first, because then you're going to have only 10 minutes for Riddler's Revenge later on, meaning that you'll probably be able to optimize your time better if you waited in a 10-minute line for Riddler's Revenge, and then possibly had the line for Ninja expand while you're waiting in that 10-minute line for Riddler's Revenge. You need to make sure you optimize your time as much as possible during this time. And if everything goes well, you should be able to get all of the coaster credits except for Magic Flyer. So then you'd be able to get all 19 rideable coasters at Magic Mountain, because unless you are a midget, you are not going to be able to get on Magic Flyer. And if you were a midget, then I don't think you'd be able to get on some of the other coasters at this park. So pretty much, it's either Magic Flyer or nothing else. So yeah, I think you'd rather have all the other coasters than the one Magic Flyer credit. But still though, Six Flags, please, just give us one day where all coaster enthusiasts can unite and all get the Magic Flyer credit. Please, we need it. Now that we're done talking about rides, I'm going to real quick just slightly go over other park experiences in Magic Mountain, just so you know how to spend your time when you're not going over some rides. For example, if you have the Flash Pass, there's always going to be a little bit of time before you can actually use your Flash Pass. At shortest, it's going to be around 15 minutes. At longest, it's going to be around 60 minutes. During this time, you can go around the park. I would suggest eating some food, having a drink, especially a drink, because it gets really freaking hot in Santa Clarita on almost all days, and you are going to be dehydrated to the nub, so you are going to really need that water or that soda or that any sort of cold beverage, and if you get a hot beverage, you are the devil. Other than that, you could probably go around riding, again, some other rides that have shorter waits, or just genuinely walking around the park, or if you're a YouTuber getting footage, that's pretty much what I did when I was waiting for my Flash Pass to go by. I just took some footage of the ride I was waiting for, and other rides nearby it. And something else that is really good, and is a pro tip from me, what you could do is while you're waiting for your one Flash Pass on one ride, you could go over to another ride that has the exact same wait time listed as the amount of wait time listed for your Flash Pass. So what you do is, for example, if you want to go on Tatsu, X2, and Revolution, then what you should do is, usually Revolution has a shorter wait than both of those other two, so what you should do is you should book a Flash Pass for X2, then go over to Tatsu, wait in that line. When I did this, because I literally did it with these exact same coasters, my wait time for when X2 was ready was 45 minutes. Tatsu was around 30 minutes that I had to wait for that, so I waited 30 minutes for Tatsu, got on that, then I had around 15 minutes left, so I got on Revolution's line. That was about 10 minutes, and then I had 5 minutes left to go over to X2's entrance, wait for that to come on, and then I got right on X2. That's another way of optimizing your time to the fullest, and I would suggest doing that, but maybe not as bad as I did it, because I can admit I probably could have waited less in that, but it's definitely a good tactic if you've done it really well. But anyway, I think that'll be it for this video. This is a surprisingly long video with the small amount of topics I've went over, but I think you can pretty much get the gist of it all. And now that you know this information, hopefully now you can have a good visit at the park with the most coasters in the world, Six Flags Magic Mountain. So, hope you liked this video, subscribe if you haven't yet. If you like it even more beyond subscribing, leave a like. And I was Ray the Coaster Critic, you are the viewer, and I'll see you in the future. Goodbye.